Hello, everyone. Welcome to Change the Shed. It's May 28, 2025, and I'm in my studio in I almost said Fort Collins, Mancos, Colorado. Southwestern Colorado, which is down near the Four Corners. Beautiful place to live. The birds are migrating, and it's warm and sunny today. I think we're going to get some summer here pretty soon this week. So welcome from all over. Barbara's here from San Diego working on her summer of Tapestry. Hello. Julia from stormy Germany, organizing her craft room. Excited to be here. Sybil's here from Switzerland and working on her summer of Tapestry prompt. Sally's here from Wisconsin, also working on summer of Tapestry. Teresa is here from Indiana. Going to cut off a sample tapestry. Yay. Cool. Next to warp a loom I made last night. That's cool, Teresa. Nothing like just whipping out a loom and warping it up the next day. I love it. Alice is here from Florida working on one of the Tapestry Discovery boxes. Yay. And then the ATA postcard. That's fantastic. Alice, I decided not to do the ATA postcard this year, but that is a really fun thing. Watch for it next year, you guys, if you're not doing it. Really cool thing where you ATA pairs you up with someone else and you exchange postcards. Like you weave the postcard and then you send it in the mail. It's really cool, and they'll have pictures of all of them later, probably in the fall. Cool. Paula's here from the UK. Susan from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Margaret's from Scotland. Jessica's here from Illinois, and Ksenia, I'm probably saying that wrong, is here from Spain, Galicia, Spain. Wonderful. Mary's here from Seattle. Ginger from Pennsylvania. Nan is here, also working on her ATA postcard from Woodstock, New York. Cheryl's here from Maryland, where it is raining, thinking about her summer of Tapestry prompt. Catherine's here from the UK. Verlie's here from Belgium. Mary's here from Virginia. Nancy from Conifer, Colorado. Dave is here from the UK. Sunderland. I'm going to have to look up where some of these states are in the UK. Actually, don't know if you call them states in the UK. Sorry about that. Lone's here from Denmark. I'm certain I'm saying your name wrong, but welcome from another beautiful Scandinavian country. Laura's here from Massachusetts. You're getting that DMC organic wool. Laura, let me know if it's going to be okay for your castle. Yeah, that sounds like an interesting product to me. So if you think it might be a viable thing, I would probably have to get some and play with it. Leslie's here from Vermont. Mary from Wisconsin, working on her summer tapestry warm-up and the Tapestry Discovery box. So those of you doing both things, I hope they work well together. Michelle's here from South Carolina, also working on summer of tapestry, and Karen's here from Texas, where I'm guessing it is hot. Anyway, welcome everybody. Glad you're here. And to all of you rolling in, welcome. The next Change the Shed will be on June 11, which is, I believe, 2 weeks from now, believe it or not. And that will be fun. Summer of Tapestry, as you heard, started this week. That is already a fun class. I've seen amazing things from the warm-up tapestry. So what do they say? I'm tickled pink. Just really happy to see everything that everyone is doing. And I'll be doing more summer of tapestry weaving of my own. And I may actually show some of you on Patreon. The paid members on Patreon at any level, I do some behind the scenes in my studio. So it might be summer of tapestry stuff in the coming weeks. Plus I have a new rock mini piece in process that I've been working on. So I'm going to show y'all that too. One more thing. Patreon, if you want to join my Patreon, just go to tapestryweaving.com and there's a navigation bar link for that. It's a fun thing where I show you some behind the scenes stuff in my studio, and the show notes from Change the Shed are on Patreon. And I wouldn't be doing this anymore without my patrons. So thank you. A million times thank you. Y'all make the difference, and you make You really add a lot to my life, so thank you for allowing me to keep doing this. You can join for free, though, and that's where you'll see the show notes for Change the Shed, where I have lots of links and more discussion about stuff going on. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to tell you before I forget is that Fixing Your Sheds is a class that I do every now and then. You can take it at any point, but I run it live sometimes. And what that means is that there is a Zoom meeting for an hour and a half or 2 hours on either June 18 or 21, where I talk about shedding problems and how to fix them. And this is a problem that a lot of people newer to Tapestry just have a big struggle wrapping their head around. So it's a fun class. There's that one live meeting. They're recorded. If you can't make it to either one, it doesn't matter. There's all kinds of other information in the class. It's like one of my regular online classes, but I've added a couple live events. One is that teaching Zoom, which again will be recorded. And the second one is about a week later, there's a Q&A session. So after you have time to play with things and have questions and figure out where you're getting stuck, we'll go over that in the Q&A, also recorded. So if you're interested in that, so you can sign up for that right now. The first meeting is June 18 or 21. I think it's like a Thursday and a Saturday, and you can choose which one works for you. Okay, that's my whole list of announcements. Thank goodness, right? So hello, everybody who else has rolled in. Janice from Oregon and Julia. Oh, Julia, wonderful. Yeah, people just from all over the world chatting about when they used to live where. That's really great. Evelyn from Sweden, another wonderful Scandinavian country. Sybil. Susan from Kansas. Bronwyn is here from Vancouver. Welcome, Bronwyn, working on Summer Tapestry. Vancouver's another place that is lovely. Many lovely places in the world. Okay, today, this thing, I'm back to the It's Fine tapestry, and I'm working on the right-hand side. So over here today, I wanted to show you a picture here. I will make this bigger. Here's a picture of the whole, what it looks like right this moment. So here's the leg. You maybe saw the last time we did this, and I started on the toe, and I've not worked on that anymore, and I'm not tackling this shoe today. So I suspect I will either have already woven it or we'll be working on that in a couple weeks when we come back. So perhaps I'll fill in all this area around, and I will leave that shoe to weave here on Change the Shed. Either that, or I'll shoot a video for Patreon for when I do it, because that is actually probably the trickiest part of the whole thing. Sorry, my little light is being crazy. All right, so let's work on that today. Oh, thanks, Sybil. She says, Fixing Your Sheds, the class I was talking about just now, Fixing Your Sheds, solved a lot of problems for me. It was really worth it. Hopefully that's true. That kind of short class with one problem in mind, I think, can be really helpful. So, yeah, Nan says, glad you changed the leg to a more likely color. Here, let me bring this up. So you can see here, the leg is still, I think, look, here's my hand. That's part of why I have not actually continued on that area, because I'm actually still not sure about it. So let's work on something else. This area we're putting in mountains, and I thought that was a good thing to do as we're looking at summer here, and I'm waiting for the snow to melt, which is going to be melted much quicker than we all want it to be. Okay, so over here, hopefully y'all can see this. I fussed with the camera yet again today, but I'm trying to keep my head, see my head, out of the camera and still allow for you to see what's going on. So there is a, here. If you haven't seen this before, here is, that is not it. This. Here's a picture of what we're doing, and I'm weaving it sideways. So I'm weaving on the right side of this cartoon. I've done the blue border is along the right side, and those white things are clouds. And I'm working on, you know, sort of a little bit more than halfway up, there's some mountains that are going in. And so that's what we're going to work on today, right in this area. And there's some burned trees that I started putting in this week. And I think the value of the trees is dark, and it's quite similar in terms of just standing out. I'm going to go with it for now. I think that when there's a whole line of them, they're going to stand out as an element, and that's all I'm really interested in. But if I wanted these to really stand out as being burned snags or something, like if I wanted it to be more realistic, I would need to make these colors lighter. The values are too close. And as you know, I have already had value problems in this tapestry, so thanks for hanging with me on all of that. Okay. This is a new light, and it seems to think that I have ghosts. We also have a bit of an electrical problem in this house, so it could be that too. All right, so I have a cloud here that is going in, and then this is just the end of a little piece of sky, and there's a mountain that comes up and sort of ends under the cloud, and then the mountain will continue up here. So I'm mixing two colors here in this mountain part, and kind of this brighter color right along the edge, because so that stands out just a little bit, and then this mix of these two colors. Can you see that? There we go. Hard to see that color. This is like a brown with a bunch of, it's got yellow and let's see what it is. Oh, I don't have the formula. I'm guessing there's a bunch of yellow in there and maybe black. Anyway, I'll stop talking and start weaving. For those of you who are just catching this, this is a double set piece. So these are doubled warps. There's two of them I'm using as 1 at 8 EPI. And then over here in this area, I'm weaving at 16 EPI, ends per inch. And let's see how we're doing here. I'm gonna need to stitch that. One of the things with stitching is that it helps me count. So though my least favorite thing to do on camera is sew slits, and I see there's a tail there that I did not pigtail. That would probably behave better if I had pigtailed it. It looks like that's exactly where I need it to be in terms of sequences matching. And the sewing told me that instead of counting. So I think that's the last I need of this thread. I don't tie off the end of the thread. Oh, that's going to be really annoying. I don't tie off the end of the thread because I will. You can see those stitches there. I will tighten them up once it's off the loom. I noticed that my shedding is wrong here. Speaking of fixing your sheds, this. Actually, we'll probably leave it for this next bit, but this is a hill thread, and I'm going to put a hill thread on top of it in the next pick. It won't matter for the hill thread, but the valley thread, there will be lice if I leave it. So I will have to adjust my shedding very soon. So I am both hatching and I'm going to now put in a dead tree right here. Okay, so that is all in the same shed. All right. Those of you who have done some of my classes know that I often do this thing where I use, to do floating bars, use 2 wefts and just jump them up on the back. This is a bit thinner weft on purpose. The black, it's actually violet, a deep violet. This time around, I'm just gonna weave over the top. Sometimes I would fill that in. I'm adjusting for having a different thickness of weft. So here is where I'm gonna go around a hill thread. This is, the shedding is wrong there. There will be lice on the back. I'm weaving from the front at the moment. And on the next warp over, I'm going to have to change that. All right. Tapestry often, oh dear, is about doing many things at once. So here I'm counting these well to see if those match while I'm doing a whole bunch of other things. All right, well, this light, oh, there it goes again. It's a brand new light. Clearly doesn't want to work. All right, I'm keeping this brighter color out at the edge. And this is a slit that goes up here, so I only have that much more to fill in there. Welcome, Davina and Gundrid. Davina's from just south of here, I think. I don't think she lives too far from me. And working on a spindle and making warp for weaving or spinning, respinning, I'm not sure which, but that's fabulous. And Gudrun is from Iceland, working on prompt 1 of Summer Tapestry. Hooray! Prompt 1 opened yesterday, y'all. So if you want to join us for Summer of Tapestry, now is the time. All right. Let's put an extra bit in there. And I'll do the same thing here. Nope. And again, matching, I think I'll put another sequence in here with this. This is a sky color. I'm a little worried that's gonna really stand out being under the clouds, but I'm hoping by the time all the forms are in there that it will look okay. It won't look weird. Now, I think this is going to end up just pulled to the back. Just going to do that, and we'll have to fuss with that. Sarah Sweat would actually needle that right in on the front, and I have done her method sometimes depending on what wool I'm using. But I probably will leave this one and needle it in after it's off the loom. If you have a copper pipe loom, you can, that's figure 8 warped, you could just flip it over and stitch that in and then turn it back and keep going. Okay, here we're gonna have to work on these clouds again. There's 3 there, okay. Can you see that? Yep. I'm using the Shacked Heiress loom, which is fabulous, and I have the treadle assembly and I'm loving it. All right, I only have a little bit more white, but I sure hate it when I run out. So close to the end. That's what happened over here. I ran out of white about right there, and that's the end of the cloud. Losing at Yarn Chicken is what that's called. In Tapestry, I think it's harder to know how much yarn you're going to need than it is in knitting. But there we go again. Back. All right, so I basically need this to match that so I can step over. And actually I'm gonna do a little extra one there because the white is thinner. The white is faro and it is thinner than all the other yarn here. Okay, now that will let me bring this one over, and this is the moment right there. So that is a valley thread. And if I bring this here, this is the kind of thing we're going to talk about on fixing your sheds. If I bring that there, that's also going behind. So I have 2 valleys stacked up. I will most certainly see a warp, little bit of warp right there. I will have warp lace because my shedding is wrong. So I know when I get up here that I could use an extra butterfly. One great way to fix that is just to add another butterfly of the same color. But of course my question is, what is this mix? And can I find it? Got smart and have a bin of the yarn for this project since there's a lot of colors right here. So here are my, I think these 2 colors are in this mix, which I have a note card that tells me 1 red, brown, and 2 browns. So let's do it. So adding an extra weft in the opposite direction will fix my shedding problem. It may be off again when I get over here. We'll see. May have to go get another light, y'all. What did I say? 1 red and 2 brown? Yes, 1 red and 2 brown. So this one in this shed is going, this one is going this direction. I'm going to start one here, which will give me actually 1 extra pick, but it won't matter. I'm actually going to pigtail this one in. For no real reason, just because I felt like it. And it's, yeah. All right, so now, as you'll see in the next, pick. This is gonna work. All right here. So now here's the valley thread. This is going to wrap around, creating a hill thread, which fixes my shedding problem. Hooray! It does give me a little bit of a cramped space here, because I'm gonna put another one of those trees in. But I think there's enough to play with it because this is getting bigger, and then eventually this cloud will be done. Marla. That's funny. Good job, Marla. Marla says she just took her prompt 3 from 2023 off the loom from Summer of Tapestry. I think it's absolutely progress, Marla. It was the research prompt. It's total progress. All right. Now we are going to bring that mountain color all the way to the edge of this slit, which I will work on next, I think. Oh, let me put in another one of these little purple burned trees. It's a nod to the wildfire season that is already in progress here in the West. We had really low snow year, so I am not optimistic. Also, there have been massive cuts to the Forest Service, so I don't know who's going to put the fires out. It's more than a little bit scary. All right, that's cut up. That was a head, actually. When I'm doing hatching, keeping things sort of line by line, you have to if you're hatching, and I'm hatching these two colors in the middle there. I think it's probably hard for you to see that. Now that there's more in there, I actually think this is gonna look really good, and I just didn't know at first. So I think that I'm gonna be happy with the trees, the dead trees. All right. Just throw a little bit more in there, and then we'll catch up with this, with the clouds. Okay, I'm gonna do that a second, and thanks, Janice. Feels so good when I can fix my sheds thanks to your class. Yay, I'm glad it's helpful. I'm not going to say it's the funnest class in the world, but it does teach you, there's a set number of ways to fix your shedding problems, and it does teach you what they are. Plus, it's a reference you can use forever, or as long as I'm alive anyway. Not sure there's any such thing as forever is my only hesitation there. All right, we've got 3 of the whites, 2 of the browns. How's that curve in quotes? Kind of a curve. I didn't do any, I'm gonna do one more here. I didn't do any cutting off of the corners or anything like that for these cloud verticals. It just felt like they're kind of cartoony and they'll be fine. We'll see what I think when it's done. Oh, I was gonna do, okay, so this is an example of, I'm gonna bring this gray back over 3, and this isn't gonna do anything in this shed because I am gonna stop, I'm gonna step it over. So in the next shed though, I can go around and then it can cover this one. So same thing here, this gray didn't do anything in that shed because it's gonna just do a 1 wrap right here. Well, I think this light has an issue. Okay, these are, I did 4 there, and I have 2 there. Okay, so that little cloud is almost done. Let's, yeah, Carrie, be careful. She's camp hosting in Southern Colorado National Forest, which is where I live in Southern Colorado. Everything is dry. Everything in the Weminuche is just dry as tinder and has been for years. And we got a lot less snow down here this year, so if you're a camper, oh my God, please be careful. If there's a fire ban, please respect the fire ban. Otherwise, you might get hit with a multi-million-dollar fine if they catch you. If nothing else makes you take care, maybe money will. I am probably preaching to the choir. It's just scary. The fire stuff is scary. I know a lot of you have floods instead of fires, and that is also scary. Let's just keep weaving. All right, this little cloud is coming right along. Let's fill in, this is sky, which I know looks quite purple. This is the edge of, so there's a border around this thing, and it's a little bit wider at the bottom than it is at the top. And so this cloud, this is the end of this cloud. So these two things, actually, that would be something we could do right now. We can make these two meet and drop this out. And this is one of the fixing your sheds things that is, sorry about my light. One of the fixing your sheds things that we'll talk about is what happens when you're in a situation like this. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this one more time, get it to the back. Let's just do 1 or 2 more stitches here. All right, that's probably the last one I'll stitch. Okay, so now these two might or might not be in the same shed. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if I planned that from the beginning. I probably did not. So here's the other thing about shedding is that you can't plan it all out ahead of time. You just need to know how to fix it when you get into a problem. So this is the lucky one because look here, this color's going this way. This one's going this way, and they are in the correct orientation in the correct shed. They're in the same shed, and they're opposing each other, so they're in meet and separate. That being said, this is pretty narrow, and I probably will want to go down to 1 butterfly. So, though I don't have a shedding problem here, I'm going to drop this out because I only have this much left, and it's the perfect opportunity to get rid of this and just continue with this. Those two wefts were the same color. Oh, the tape that I just threw away, Janice. This is plain old masking tape. It is, yeah, just plain masking tape is what we call it in the United States. I use blue tape a lot. You can see blue tape on all of my stuff. Stuff that I don't want to get too sticky, I use blue tape, but this is just a folded over piece of regular masking tape. And it's marking, I use this on my big tapestries too, to mark what the color is. So then I have a key, I have a copy of this cartoon over there where I have written on the side, what does C mean, which colors are in that bundle. And that's how I keep track of it. All right. Let's weave a couple sequences of this to make sure it's gonna work out. This is the kind of area also where the wefts, oh, you probably can't see that very well, but they're a little closer here and wider there. It's just something that happens, managing your weft tension. Getting these to be wider and this to be narrower. I just don't, it's so easy. I noticed here on the edge, you can probably even see it a little bit, that it's getting a tiny bit wider here. Where this got so close to the edge, there's only 3 warps in the blue. That's sort of a danger area. And it spread a tiny bit. There, the best thing to do to keep an eye on whether you're drawing in or getting wider is to measure all the time. And it is hard to make yourself do it. So a ruler and just look, oh, is it still, I think this is 14 inches wide, this piece. Is it still 14 inches wide, or is it 14 and a half, or is it 13 and something? If you can see it as you're going, you know, then if you realize as you're going, oh, this is getting narrower and I just didn't even realize, then you can do something about it. So I have to do it myself because you can't visually tell. You think you can tell, but optical illusions happen. All right, it is, let's see. This loom has the treadle assembly on it. I am going to do a video, a blog post about the treadle on this loom. I am ridiculously pleased with it. Quick becoming it. This is, I've always loved this loom. It's a really nice one to weave on, but the treadle just bumps it way up for me because I can shift the shed with my feet. Here the shedding is correct. It's the same situation as I had over here, but this was such a narrow area. I'm sure I set it in so that it would work. But this is a hill thread there, and this is going under as a valley thread, and so that is what it should be. Phew. Because this would be a bit of a tough situation to add another weft. Let's put another sequence in there. Not sure I'm going to love that violet. I'm sure some of you had questions in your mind when I chose violet for the sky. Maybe it goes with the theme of the tapestry, though. This tapestry has a dumpster fire in it. So maybe that's part of it. The sky definitely changes colors when things are on fire. Oh, I didn't know Shacked had a warehouse sale. Nancy says Shacked had a warehouse sale last week and she just ordered one. Awesome. Yeah, you have to get the treadle, you also have to get the stand, which I know means that, like for me, I had to set this loom up in a place and basically not move it unless I take the whole thing down. And so it makes it more of a permanent piece of furniture, whereas the loom by itself can just sit on a table and you can put it away. But it's worth it for me for this treadle. I just really like it. I, of course, weave tapestry on floor looms, and so I'm used to shifting the shed with my feet anyway, so that is also part of it. It's just a lot easier on my body, and it is faster. All right, of course I'm gonna run out of white there, but let's fill this in really quickly. Two there. I'm just matching sequences. Watching for where the warps are just a little bit off in terms of spacing and fixing that as much as possible. Right. All right, how is that? It's looking pretty good. I do like this tree thing. It looks darker to me on the camera than it does in person, but I think it's going to be a bit of what I want. I don't know about this yet, so might be. I will figure something out with that, and I will get back to you. Those of you on Patreon will hear about it sooner than those of you not, but I will be back on June 11 for more fun with Change the Shed. Oh, good. Nan says that she also got a new Eris with the treadle. Yay. And that looking at clouds, this piece has me looking at clouds with weaving them in mind. Yeah, I think clouds are so interesting. And gosh, I saw someone in one of my retreats, Mary, was weaving clouds in a completely different way. Just beautiful colors, and also just, there's so many ways to weave clouds. I think you could probably play with weaving clouds forever. Barbara also got the stand and treadle. Excellent. Shacked does not pay me to say that I love this loom. I just, I think they did a good job, and I think the treadle was a big game changer for me anyway, so. Makes the loom like close to $1,000, I think, maybe. So it's a big investment, but nice loom. All right, you guys, I am now mumbling along. If you, those of you on Patreon, again, thank you so much. You have made a huge difference in my ability to continue doing Change the Shed, as well as supporting some of my personal work. So I will be showing you all the new rock mini piece I'm working on, which is actually kind of a sample for the next big tapestry. So hopefully that will be going on the loom. I've said over and over, before too long. I have to make a couple more classes before I have a ton of time, but better to get started. Oh my gosh. You're up 3:14 a.m. is really a crazy time. So I think most people in Australia, Southern Hemisphere, that part of the world, probably don't see many of my live things because it is definitely the middle of the night. Oh yeah, Shivi's asking about what type of floor loom for Tapestry can I buy. I have a ton of posts about looms on my blog. If you go to my blog, there's a category list and one of them says looms and you can search through that. I also have a class about looms, but it doesn't focus specifically on floor looms. So I will just say quickly that jack looms are not great for Tapestry with the exception of Macombers. Macomber floor looms, the 40-inch or bigger ones, they're fantastic. Otherwise, a countermarch or a counterbalance loom. Or if you want a floor loom that's vertical for Tapestry, there's a whole nother world there. Lots of good ones out there. Or an Abusan loom is also a low warp loom. So there's low warp and high warp. And I better stop now because I'll talk about looms forever. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to head off to new adventures in weaving today. But I'm glad you're here, and thank you for all of your time and enthusiasm. And I will be back on June 11 with another live Change the Shed at 10:30 a.m. Mountain. And I'll have to think about all you people on the other side of the world and have one in the evening here sometime so it's not the middle of the night there. All right. See you later, y'all. Thanks so much.